Hi, I'm Julie Balderrama. I'm the founder of Heart Mind Healing Arts and the Self-Love Legacy. And I'm posting a video today because I had something happen that I want to talk to you about. I want to share my experience with you. So let me give you a little bit of background information. For 2016, one of the words that I decided to take on was visibility. I wanted to be more visible in the world. And I didn't take this on lightly. My struggle with visibility has been something that's been very present for me over the last year or two. And I have certain triggers around it. And one of those triggers is my good girl. There is a part of me, I'm a recovering good girl. There's a part of me that gets really uncomfortable with being in trouble. And that can manifest in a lot of different ways. Either I offend someone or, someone tells me that I've done something wrong. It kind of fits in with the people pleaser, but it really is about when I identify the feelings, it's something that I feel most familiar with when I think about what it felt like to get in trouble when I was a kid. So here's what happened. It's January 4th and I've gotten into trouble already by being visible. So I belong to several different Facebook groups, and one of the Facebook groups that I belong to, I posted a photo. And the reason I posted the photo is because I have a program coming up called Love Your Body Now. And it is sort of a resolution rebellion. I'm trying to take this whole idea that comes with New Year's resolutions that we are somehow flawed and need to be fixed, and I'm trying to turn it on its head. And so this is dealing with body image, this is dealing with how we care for our body, self-love, etc. So I posted this image in the group to get people talking about body image and what we feel like is beautiful, getting people to redefine what is beautiful as far as our bodies are concerned, and to begin to cause a little bit of a stir and a rebellion. But here's the thing, when I posted that photo, I never, ever, ever suspected that I would get any criticism in this group at all. This is a group of women that I felt like would be cheering on. I felt like it was a place where I wouldn't even have to think about this idea of getting any criticism. But that's not what happened. So the first post back replying to this, and by the way, I posted this photo in my group that I run, which is the Self-Love Tent. And I'd love for you to join us if this video appeals to you and you like that vibe. So I posted it in that group, and I posted it on the Love Your Body Now event page. So that's not the only group that I posted it in, but in this particular group, the response back from me to me was that the woman felt like, well, first of all, she asked me to take it down. She felt like it was offensive, and she was concerned about her children, her little girls, seeing it. So when I first read it, I was kind of in my morning, like, high of getting stuff done and, doing my posts for the day and getting things out there. And I really was not expecting this response to this photo. And immediately I noticed that feeling that I get when I feel like I'm in trouble. So here's what happens. For me, this is what happens. I start to feel extra energy in my body. I start to notice that my breath is faster, it's quicker, and not quite as deep. I feel very ungrounded. People talk about feeling ungrounded a lot, but for me, that it's not particularly helpful if I don't have sensations with that. So what do I mean when I feel ungrounded? I feel that extra energy in my body, and I feel like I feel untethered. I feel like the energy is just sort of bouncing around inside of me, and I can't quite focus on things. My breath quickens, my heart quickens, and I just feel like this extra energy in my body. So that's what I mean by ungrounded. And then I feel that sinking feeling in the pit of my stomach when I feel like I'm in trouble. That's the body sensations that go along with this trigger of being in trouble. So when I pay attention to my body, I know that this is what's going on. If I can stop in the reaction of it, right? If I can create that space to stop in the reaction of the trigger, which is I'm in trouble, someone is giving me feedback that triggers this feeling of being in trouble, I can notice what's going on. And the reason I'm posting this video is because I want to make that link of what it means to love your body now. Because when we start making different choices about our bodies and we start choosing to love our body the way that it is, we're going to bump up against this. And maybe we bump up against it because a person gives us some feedback that feels uncomfortable to us, or maybe our inner critic is going to raise things in our awareness, and that's what we bump up against. But we're going to bump up against some discomfort because we're shaking things up. We're turning things on its head. We're doing something different. And we are necessarily, when we make different choices, we're necessarily going to rock the boat. And that can feel a little unsettling, and it can feel a little uncomfortable. So what was next? Okay, so now I noticed that was how I was feeling, and I noticed my hesitation in replying back to her. I had a moment where I decided, do I reply back to her? Do I wait for the moderator of the group to say something? Do I apologize? Do I get up on my high horse and start talking about body image and body shame? There was a whole range of emotions and responses that I sort of sorted through as a way to figure out how to respond. And the most curious to me was the idea that I had to respond quickly. I definitely went there. Like, I had to respond quickly. I owed her or the group or someone a quick response. That was an interesting thing for me to notice. And I did respond, and it wasn't a perfect response. I read back on it now, and it's, I would have said things differently, but I did respond. And what I did that I liked about it was that I offered compassion to myself first. I offered compassion. By noticing my trigger, I was able to say to myself, look, your good girl is triggered and this feels really uncomfortable. And because I could offer myself some compassion first, then I could offer her some compassion. And I could sincerely say, I'm sorry that this offended you. And, not or but and, I'm going to, as long as it's okay with the moderator of the group, I'm going to keep it up because I think this is a very important message. I think this is, super important for us to investigate how we feel about this image. And because I am body positive, and I think that we should love our bodies in any form that they come in, and with any message that they come with. Our body gives us messages, and when we feel uncomfortable in our body, that is a message. That's a place for growth, right? So I have to say that beyond that, I knocked the camera a little bit. Beyond that, there was an outpouring of support within that group. And I mentioned in the group that I run, the Self-Love Tent, about this process because I wanted to be very visible about the process. And there was an outpouring of support from everyone in there too. What was so gorgeous about it is that in the group that this happened, where this happened, not only was there an outpouring of support from me, but there was an outpouring of support for this woman as well, which I think is super important. And I'm so happy that that happened because she clearly had a reaction. And my work is about accepting, loving, embracing all parts of myself, which means that I want to work to embrace all parts of someone else. And so maybe I don't agree with her, and there's some voices in my head that are getting up on their soapbox and are shaking their fist. But to me, it's more important that I am able to offer that part of her some compassion. Because when I can do that, then I can continue to offer the parts of me that need compassion when they need it. right? So if there's a part of me that looks at a woman and says, wow, that she looks really unhealthy, she really needs to lose some weight, or oh, I don't know if, she should be like, it's okay to love yourself, but, you really need to do something about that extra weight that you're carrying, or, whatever judgment I might have, or even the other way around, like, oh my gosh, it must be so easy to have her problems with body image. Look how fit and strong she is. So when those voices come up in my head, I can offer myself compassion too, instead of beating myself up. And I'll tell you, so here's a little confession. I'm a self-love coach. I'm a life coach, right? The story that I have about my own journey is that I used to be 60 pounds heavier. Actually, at this point, I used to be about 50 pounds heavier. And I went through a journey. There was a lot of self-loathing. I went through a journey. I lost the weight. Okay, so that's my story. It's on my website. It's kind of how I do. But lately, I've put some of that weight back on. And I've really been struggling, especially with this visibility thing of who the hell am I to get out there and talk about loving your body now, and talk about self-love, and talk about, loving yourself and taking care of yourself if I've gained this weight back. I can't do that. I can't show up on a camera with carrying this extra weight. I can't, right? Here's the truth. I've gained some of that weight back. I love my body right now. I don't love the way my clothes fit right now because it's uncomfortable. But truly, more than I did before, I think I really, really love my body. And my butt is big and my thighs are huge. And I'm getting older and my chin is starting to do this little thing. And I've got blemishes on my face that I did not cover up today. And I love it because it's me. And I have been through a lot to get to the place where I love me as I am. And I'm going to stand in that place, and I'm going to stand in that place today for me, and I'm going to stand in that place for you. I'm going to stand in that place no matter how you come into my life. Whether you're someone who criticizes something I post on Facebook, whether you're someone who participates in one of my programs, whether you come into the self-love tent, or whether you're my client, I'm going to stand in that place. I'm going to hold that space for you to love yourself, to love your body exactly the way that you are. And I'm going to offer you compassion when you can't offer it to yourself. And I'm going to ask you to offer yourself compassion when it doesn't even occur to you. So I want to thank you so much for watching this video, and I especially want to thank everybody that was part of these two groups that were so encouraging and so loving and so supportive, not just to me, but to the other people that might have been triggered as well. We've got to start offering compassion to one another, and we have to start by offering that compassion to ourselves first. All right. If you want to know how to work with me, or you'd like to be in the self-love tent, you can email me at heartmindjulie@gmail.com. HEARTMINDJULIE@gmail.com. I'd love to talk to you further. If there's anything that you would like to know or have any questions about or want to work with me, please email me. My upcoming program is Love Your Body Now. It is a self-paced program where you get a daily email, a weekly meditation that is really designed. It's no more than 10 minutes a day. It's designed for you to tap into that part of yourself that knows that you are already awesome exactly the way that you are. So if you're interested in that, please get in touch with me. And then, of course, the Self-Love Tent, which is a closed community on Facebook of loving, compassionate people that are on this self-love journey. And we are all taking it together. All right, my name is Julie Balderrama. I'm the founder of the Self-Love Legacy and Heart Mind Healing Arts. And thank you so much for listening to me. I love you. Mwah, exactly the way you are. All right, bye-bye.